As someone who considers horror to be their favorite genre in nearly everything, I feel ashamed to admit that I've only gone into Silent Hill just a little over a month ago. In my defense, it's not exactly easy to play the original games. The copies for the original consoles are insanely expensive, and the only way to play them now is really getting the fan-made ports to the PC. It would be great if you could buy them on the digital stores, but you know, fuck Konami. Right now I've only gone 1, 2, and 3 installed, because they're the only ones I'm interested in. I just finished the second one, and it's an experience that is going to be difficult to forget. Not since I was a child have I been this scared or in unease while watching or playing something. When I got to these sections in Silent Hill 2, like the apartment or hospital or the hotel, I had to go out of my way to take breaks or get into a Discord call with a friend, because the atmosphere in the game is just so foreboding. Ironically, I don't even find the actual enemies in the game that scary, but just the environments, art direction, and sound design are just horrifying. And I don't want to call those areas just scary because it's doing it a massive disservice. But at the same time, I don't know how to put it into words how much of a fucking pussy I am in these corridors. There's nothing else like Silent Hill out there. It's the reason why psychological horror games even exist, and I feel so dumbfounded that I've never gone into the series sooner. Ever since I finished Silent Hill 2, I've been digging through so much shit related to this franchise, becoming borderline obsessed. Hell, I need to hold myself back now from saying Silent Hill every time I see a fucking fog now. I want to comb through everything. I am in complete awe of this nightmarish yet beautiful world. And of course, because of that, I've found out 2 things. 1, I'm getting myself this Pyramid Head plushie. 2, that there are multiple Silent Hill games in development. Allegedly. It might be quite likely that all of you already know this, since it's gotten quite widespread. But from what I know, there's only 3 in development. 1 being a new mainline entry, the other a Silent Hill 2 remake, and the 3rd having some sort of episodic format to it. Now, when I found out about all of this, I was excited and of course skeptical. The leaked concept art for the new entry does hold a lot of weight to the legitimacy of these rumors, and because of that has made me lean more towards the side that these projects are real. Honestly, my thoughts aren't that deep for each one. A Silent Hill 2 remake does sound nice, but it's probably the one I'm most skeptical about. The original game's atmosphere makes me shit myself, so I don't want that to be tinkered with. The episodic one, I really don't have an opinion on. If this one ends up going anywhere, then I need to see it first to make a conclusion on how I feel about it. And the new mainline entry, again, I don't know how I feel about it, but the one enemy that got leaked for the concept art, visually, I do love. Now that I've finished Silent Hill 2 and becoming more knowledgeable with the series, I don't know how I feel about more entries. Also, you motherfuckers better not go in the comments, because, yes, I know I've only played 1 fucking game in the series, but hear me out. The franchise has been stagnant for a long time now, and fans are craving and craving for a new entry. Especially with the amount of success Resident Evil has been getting with its sequels and remakes. That franchise's success has influenced a lot of inspiration for more horror games to come out recently. So much so, it's brought back fucking Dead Space! So yeah, no wonder why a new Silent Hill is being discussed. But again, I don't know how I feel about getting a new game. We live in a time where franchises get borderline milked to death, because it's easier to reboot a dead series than make something brand new. As I mentioned, Dead Space is coming back. I fucking adore Dead Space, it's one of my favorite games ever. But the only reason it's getting remade is because EA saw Resident Evil's current success. Now, I full-heartedly believe the remake is gonna be great, after seeing how much passion the devs are putting it into it. Hell, I'm gonna get the game either fucking way, but EA killed Dead Space and the studio that made it. So it's a little insulting that they're reviving it only after the recent horror trend. I worry that's the main thriving goal with the supposed new Silent Hill games. Money. I mean, every game has to make money, but then again, what the fuck doesn't have to make money? Konami owns the Silent Hill IP, and fuck me, they couldn't have a worse owner. I'm not gonna go into extreme depth, but if you're interested, I'll link a video down below from Strixo, who goes into good detail how much they fucking suck. Silent Hill is incredible, and it pains me to see how it fell from grace, all because of corporate greed and awful management. Hell, the Silent Hill HD collection shows how Konami really doesn't care about this franchise, or these legendary titles. If the new mainline Silent Hill entry is really happening, then I bet that it's gonna be extremely safe. It's gonna probably have Pyramid Head, would probably take the RE approach and put the camera over the shoulder, and creative freedom in other aspects like the story would more than likely be questioned often by suits. Bringing back Dead Space to the topic, a new sci-fi horror IP is releasing this December called The Callisto Protocol, which is being created by the creator of Dead Space, Glenn Schofield. When he was asked the question if he had the opportunity to be involved with a new Dead Space remake, this was his response. EA didn't want to build a studio in our area anymore. They realized how expensive it was, so they decided to go to Montreal, which is probably a good move. And you know what? This is the opportunity I really want. I didn't want suits on top of me, that's why I've done it. The reason I wanted to run my own studio and run my own games is that creative autonomy. I've been creating games my whole life. I didn't know anything else. It's not better than technical guys or organized people or whatever. It's just different, but that's the way I think. Creative freedom is something that isn't always easy to get. While he didn't work on Dead Space 3, the creative team behind that had most of their ideas tinkered with or just outright changed by EA, leading to a game no one wanted or wanted to make. It's no wonder why he wanted to free himself from those shackles. And when I read Glenn Schofield's answer to that question, I cannot help but think that even after the fanbase has been begging for over a decade, do we really need a new Silent Hill? I'm hesitant to think that any creative team behind it would have full freedom for their vision, or that Konami would be hands-off. I can't help but imagine a passionate studio that knows and loves this franchise and wants to make the original creators proud, but be held back on a leash by suits on top of them. Honestly, I'd play a new Silent Hill game, just to see how it is. Hell, if it was great, then I'd eat that shit up for fucking years! But I just don't trust Konami anywhere near this IP, and they own it! I'd much rather prefer and feel far more comfortable if there came a new, spiritual successor to Silent Hill. Be it from the original Team Silent or fans of the series. I know there's been attempts like The Evil Within. You don't have to make a new SH to get those same fears and scares each entry provides. Of course I'd love these new projects to actually end up being amazing and manage to resurrect and shoot Silent Hill back into the spotlight. Why would I ever not want that? But I just don't know how I feel about all of this, simply knowing how Silent Hill died, and its first attempt at a reboot failing cause of fucking Konami's pettiness! Silent Hill has been tormented for so long and no effort has been given to it. Only merchandising and a fucking slot machine, leading to the series losing immense amount of relevancy. You don't see fucking Konami porting Silent Hill 2 everywhere like Capcom does with Resident Evil 4. I wish they didn't start discussing about making a new game first and foremost, because looking at the state of the franchise, what the series desperately needs is not a new game, but for the faceless higher-ups in suits to give this beautiful franchise the love and respect that it deserves. If it doesn't get that from them, then simply, I don't know how the fuck these new games are going to end up like. And if there's a massive risk that it can be insanely ruined because of Konami, then is it really worth it to be excited for these new projects? Only time will tell, I guess.